us this day. And we pray, oh God, that everything that we say and do will be pleasing in your eyesight. And we ask a special prayer, oh God, on this government and governments everywhere, oh God, as you give us the authority to do those things that are pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray and ask it all. Amen.
Amen. And then the Pledge of Allegiance by the Honorable Chris Canulet.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First of all, before we begin the meeting, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. We hope that you are safe and travel in any travel that you do during the holidays. And this being my last meeting this year, and we will be electing a new chairman. Before the start of the meeting, I want to say thank you for joining us for the monthly meeting of St. Tammany Parish Council. As always, we appreciate your input and participation in the legislative process. If you would like to make a comment concerning an item on the agenda, please feel free to fill out a yellow speaker's card and return them to a staff member or to the designated baskets. We would also ask that you continue to stay informed about your parish government and subscribe to the parish's email blast. Parish government delivers its news daily directly to your email box. There are sign-up sheets for our email blast under the television screens here in the front. You can also go to the parish government website, stpgov.org, and click on the words "Be in the Know," or on the right-hand side of the homepage. In addition to email blast, you can get updates on the parish's social media sites, Facebook and Twitter. These are especially helpful in getting updates during a disaster. Last, you can always watch our meetings on the Parish Access channel or on demand from our website, stpgov.org. Thank you, and I will now ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Mr. Dean? Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. Lorino? Mr. Toledano?
President, Merry Christmas to all.
Ms. Blanchard? Present. Mr. Stefanczyk?
Present.
Mr. Tanner?
Here.
Mr. Groby?
Present.
Mr. Canulet?
Here.
Mr. Belisario?
Here.
Ms. O'Brien? Here. Mr. Bender? Mr. Smith?
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I understand the two councilmen are out. One of them is attending a funeral up in northern Mississippi, and the other one is sick tonight, so they both have let us know that they wouldn't be here. First item on the agenda is the election of officers for next year, and I have a resolution to appoint a chairman to the parish council for the calendar year 2018. I have a motion by Mr. Thompson.
So moved.
Seconded by Mr. Belisario. Mr. Canulet. Mr. Canulet. I seen that hand go up. I thought it was Gene's right hand. Okay. The resolution is now on the floor. We're open for nominations to the we have to have somebody's name first.
That would help.
You're not closing the nominations the
Move
way
to
it is, because
nominate
I'm not
Michelle
staying here
Blanchard.
another year.
I'll
okay?
second.
I
You heard
think
that?
Mr. Thompson,
Got it, second.
you were gonna,
I would, but can you let beat me to it?
can you let beat
We're
you to
going,
it?
we were trying to move forward.
Oh, okay,
Thank you.
okay.
So you move for Michelle?
I moved for Michelle, but I'm
Michelle
not moving to her
Blanchard,
neighborhood.
and you second that. Mr. Thompson, thank you very much. Any other nominations? Seeing none, a motion to close the nominations and elect by acclamation.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
second by Mr. Toledano. Please vote. Now, if I can find my voting button, there it is.
Motion passes, 12 yeas, 2 absent.
Thank you. Now I have a resolution to appoint a vice chairman of the parish council for the calendar year 2018. First of all, a motion to approve the resolution. Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Canulette. Now it's on the floor, and we have nominations for this.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Tanner.
I move to
Please turn his
nominate Mr. Mike Lorino.
Okay, nomination for Mr. Lorino, seconded by Mr. Smith. Any discussion on the motion? I think, first of all, your nomination was, okay, move to close by who? Move to close by Canulette and by acclamation, you're saying? Thank you. Seconded by Mr. Toledano. Please vote.
Okay. Get this right one of these years.
Get it on.
Ms. O'Brien? Oh, I'm sorry.
We are complete.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate 2 of my colleagues, Ms. Blanchard and Mr. Lorino. They'll be the leadership of this thing for next month, and I think I appreciate them taking on the task. Thank you. I'm going to... That's probably the last time you'll ever get applause all year. Maybe if I leave, there'll be more applause, okay? Under special items, ordinance calendar number 5864, ordinance adopting the 2018 parish operating budget, introduced and referred to Finance Committee 9/27/17 and postponed 10/5/17 and 11/2/17. Need a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Toledano. I have one yellow card from Carlo Hernandez to speak on the budget. You did wait till tonight, right?
I had indicated to some who were requesting that I speak earlier that I was going to wait until tonight to speak.
Thank you.
So I appreciate this. Am I speaking, the amendments that are coming, is that,
We hadn't made the amendments yet.
okay. So it's not appropriate for me to speak on the amendments at this point then?
Once we put the motion on the floor to amend it, and we can do that if you wish to, and then you can speak on everything at once.
That, I'd like to do that if I could.
Okay, thank you. I'll give you the time when that happens. So, thank you, Mr. Tanner. You have some amendments to the budget?
Yes, sir. Just tell you that the 2018 operating budget represents a reduction in expenditures from 2017 to 2018 for over $10 million. Primarily the result of a reduction in salary and benefit costs to personnel due to the hiring freeze, the deferral of replacement of equipment and technology systems, and deferred maintenance for our parish facilities. The operating and capital budget approximately $60 million for the cost of operating and maintaining our roads, drainage, and sewer and water infrastructure. Since the introduction of the ordinance by council budget work group, we met on several occasions to review the budget proposed by the administration and asked for input in that regular scheduled council finance committee meetings in October and November. As a result of these meetings, the finance committee recommends the ordinance calendar 5864 be amended as follows. On page 5, Fund 039, St. Tammany Parish's Corner Fund, amend a reduction of $103,139.62. You can do all of them at once, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Page 5, page 11, Fund 130, Highway 21, Economic Development Sales Tax Fund, amend the revenue and the budget by reducing it by $562,000, a reduction of $2,305,500. Page 5 of 11, Fund 132, Airport Economic Development Sales Tax, amend the revenue and expenditures budgeted by reducing it to zero, a reduction of $3,001 and $84.50 respectively. Page 6 of 11, Fund 133, Highway 59, Economic Development Sales Tax Fund, amend the revenue and expenditures budgeted by reducing it to zero, a reduction of $465,180 and $5,397.50. Page 6 of 11, Fund 134, Highway 1077, Economic Development Sales Tax Fund, a reduction of $310,015 and $3,615 respectively. Page 6, Fund 135, Highway 434, Economic Sales Tax Fund, reduction of $55,020 and $682.50. Page 6 of 11, Fund 136, Highway 1088, Economic Development Sales Tax Fund, amend the revenue and expenditure budget by reducing it to zero, a reduction of $8,003 and $92 respectively. And I think that's all the amendments I have.
Okay, so you amend.
That's the amendments.
Ask for a second. I hear a second to those. Okay, Mr. Groby. Before I go on with this vote, and I probably made a mistake at the very beginning, I need to turn this over to our parish president. Her and her staff have worked under certainly really dire circumstances, making all the initial cuts to this budget and everything, and I want to give her the opportunity to speak, because I think without her and without the finance department working with us hand in hand, we wouldn't be even close to where we are today. So Pat, I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I do want to reiterate my thanks to the Finance Department led by Leslie Long. They've been working on this since June. It takes that long to put it together. I know sometimes people say, well, why don't you just? Well, if it were just that simple to change things, we would. Government accounting and business accounting is quite different. So Leslie is the best I've ever seen or heard about in knowing this budget and knowing what we should do and what we can do and what we can't do. So I just don't want to even think about Leslie retiring at any time before I'm well gone, because if she goes, I would have to go. I feel totally confident in everything that she does without question, because she does know it by heart, I mean, in and out. And I think she's worked with each one of you at one time or another and answered any questions that you might have throughout the year, not only during budget time, but throughout the year. And she has a great staff, and they have put extra effort into this year's budget because we have had some cuts that we really did need to make that were not easily made. So I want to thank them publicly and thank the council members for working with us to get this budget. I think it's a good, responsible, efficient budget that we are presenting, and I would appreciate your votes for it. Thank you.
Thank you, and I will just follow up on that, having worked with, first of all, the Budget Review Group and Leslie and everyone. Not only, and I know we're probably embarrassing Leslie, but that's all right.
She deserves this.
I mean, let me tell you, without her, we wouldn't have gotten it done. That's the first thing. She was at every meeting that we requested her to be at, and then many councilmen went up and called her in her office so that they could get more details on stuff when they were doing the budget, and she worked with every one of them. So her and Annie and all the people from the budget group, Leslie, I want to tell them thank you from us, and thank you very much from us. And I think the finance department has done a fantastic job as well. And then Pat, And I would say it's under your leadership. You gave us a budget that we could at least start on and get to where we are today. And it's been a rough go, but we are there. So thank you, and thank the financial group for their help in this. And I want to
Thank
give
you.
them a round
Thank you,
of
Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
And Leslie, please convey that back to all of your members. I want, Mr. Tanner, who is chairman of the Finance Committee, would like to say something.
Just, I want to, where's my mic? Okay, thanks. One thing that we didn't bring out, and I know we did, and it's in these numbers somewhere, but if you remember several years ago, we reduced the number of take-home cars that we had by a half. We have reduced that again by almost another half. So, I mean, we looked at every little thing to reduce in order to get this budget, you know, to where we could live with it at least for next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Need to complete the motion to amend that Richard had made. Any further discussion on the motion to amend? Would you like to speak now on those items on amendment, or you want to speak on the whole budget?
I'd like to speak to both, actually. But
Okay.
if I could, let me just stop right after the amendments, and then you can adopt, because I support the amendments. I would also recommend that the Parish Council consider eliminating or deleting the economic development districts no longer collecting any sales tax for 2018. And that would leave only 2 districts collecting additional sales tax, and that is the Highway 21 district and the Rooms to Go district. So I would suggest that you consider at some point in the future eliminating those districts no longer collecting anything for 2018. That's a consideration. I hope you take that in the future. Thank you.
Have you looked at our agenda?
I have looked at the agenda.
You have, because all those things are on there to be deleted.
I wanted to
Okay.
speak before that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, they've all been they will be taken out tonight by ordinance, and that's what we had to do. So we'll be done tonight so that the sheriff can make his changes that he needs to make. Mr. Lorino. Now you're on.
Mr. Chairman, I was just going to second Mr. Tanner's motion if he was ready for it.
Well, okay. Did we have a second? Yes. Yeah, I think Mr. Groby seconded it, so, yeah. Anyone else have any comments? What? All in favor of the amendments as presented, say aye, or vote now. I'm sorry, we're voting on the amendments, so.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Okay, the motion now, the budget is now on the floor as amended. Any further discussion? And Carlos, I guess you want us to speak again.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to speak twice here. The 2018 operating budget did not have the same public review procedure as in recent prior years, wherein the directors of each department would go before the Parish Council's Finance Committee and have their budget requests reviewed and answer any questions the council members or the public had. I found the process informative. This year, that procedure did not take place, and I hope in 2018, the parish will again return to the process. I have questions regarding the tactics used in dealing with the 2018 operating budget and failure of the Justice Center and jail sales tax renewals. Does the hiring freeze still have 76 unfilled positions, or is the number higher or lower? Will the positions be filled if the 2 tax renewals pass in March of 2018? Which departments will be cut by 45% if the 2 tax renewals fail? How many additional people will lose their jobs if the renewals fail? Will the 2018 operating budget need to be reduced by $13,560,000 if the renewals fail? These are questions that can be answered in the future. Thank you. I think certainly at least one person knows how to contact me. The estimate for the 2017, in 2017, the parish did not collect $3,256 because the parish council waived these rezoning fees. These fees could have been used to pay someone to place online all of the administrative permits issued by the Department of Development. I hope the parish council stops waiving all rezoning fees in 2018. Every dollar collected may be important. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's turn this off. I will in a minute. Richard and Carlo, and I'm going to answer your first question is, why didn't we have the hearings as we had before? And you know why. You're the only person that ever came to them. So, I mean, I think the largest attendance we ever had from this parish was 3 people at one of our budget hearings. And then you were there, and you've been to every one of them. But, you know, some nights you were back there and you were the only person here. And to me, if we're going to have something for the public, I would hope the public would participate. I just couldn't see wasting, and I think it's wasting people's time to bring them all in here, ask all our employees to come in here, and in some cases sit for 3 or 4 hours waiting to present a budget, and nobody is up there to hear it except the council people that are on the finance committee. So the finance committee had a review of everything that's happening, so that's why we didn't have those. And if somebody wanted something brought up, they could have brought it up at 3 council meetings. 3 finance meetings that we have had. So that's an answer to your first question. The answer to your second questions, I do believe, is this. If the tax passes, we will change this budget starting April 1st and fill positions and do things, whatever we need to do. But if this tax does not pass, and that's what we have to operate on, we are not guaranteed to have that money after March 31st. So we can't budget for something we're not guaranteed to have. And that's what we're doing with this budget. With the tax expires on March 31st. And so we have to budget accordingly, and that's what we did tonight. And there will be changes if the tax passes, but we have to assume for our budget purposes, we had to base it on the fact that the tax is not there after March 31st. Now I'll turn the mic over to Mr. Tanner.
Well, just to correct one thing that you said, Steve, was that we automatically going to change the budget on March the 31st if the tax passes. That's not necessarily, we may change, but it's not, may not go back to what it was in the past.
I didn't say it would.
Well, I just don't want people to think that, hey, we're just doing this so that we're, you know, we haven't tried to cut the fat out of the government. And so, you know, surely we're a lot of people short, and a lot of us know that a lot of them are public works people, and, you know, we need a lot of them, maybe not need all of them. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Pat might want to respond to it.
Okay, Pat, I think you want to go.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Tanner did state it correctly. We may we will hire some of the people that we have lost, but not necessarily all of them. But as Mr. Tanner just mentioned, Public Works is one of the hardest hit, and those are the services that the citizens of this parish expect first, to get their grass cut, the litter picked up, the roads done. So those things, we want to make sure we have enough people in place. We have suffered by the lack of by the shortage of employees these months. So we certainly want to get the services back up to where they need to be, but it does not necessarily mean we will replace every one of the people that are not there now. And I think we're up to almost 80. Is that about right? 80? Around 80 positions not filled. So, and you're right that the budget that we have before you is a balanced budget, knowing that the revenue stream knowing that it may not be beyond March. So we did not put two budgets together. We have one budget with the amount of money that we know right now that will be coming into this parish. Okay, so.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Any further discussion on the ordinance as amended? Okay, it's already on the floor and it's been amended, so
We need to make a motion as amended. I move to adopt.
you amended it, therefore I don't need a motion. So let's go with the vote. Please vote for the adoption of the parish budget as amended. Somebody turn on the vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Thank you. Ordinance calendar number 5865, an ordinance to establish the 2018-22 budget, capital improvements budget, and grant awards. Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Canulette. Any discussion on the capital budget? Does anybody from the public want to talk? I'm trying to drag this meeting out because I know the Saints game is on. I was just kidding. Okay, please vote. That's what they've accused me of doing before I started the meeting, so,
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
okay. Completes those. We go to presentations. Presentation of proclamation to St. Tammany Parish Government Employee of the Month.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is my pleasure tonight to read the proclamation for our Employee of the Month. Whereas Bridget Saladino has been a devoted St. Tammany Parish employee since December 11th, 2006, first working in finance and human resources. In December 2013, Bridget transferred to the Grants Department, serving as Grants Project Manager. And whereas Bridget has emerged as a true leader in the Grants Department and continually strives to improve departmental performance and productivity by not only applying her knowledge of grant funding regulations, but by her proactive approach to understanding in depth the grant subject matter, allowing for her work product to be both accurate and informative, and by sharing lessons learned and pertinent information with her peers and recommending and implementing departmental procedure improvements. And whereas Bridget began working on the residential hazard mitigation program, bringing structure and organization to that program, and is now managing the grant funding for all drainage environmental projects. And whereas Bridget has written several successful competitive grants for the parish, most recently are the 3 grants awarded from EPA that provide pollution source tracking for water quality. This program, partnering with the Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation, has been successful in providing hundreds and soon to be thousands of residents with education and proper equipment for their individual sewer treatment plant systems. And whereas Bridget Saladino has been an overall outstanding and exemplary employee, and we are proud and fortunate to have her on the St. Tammany Parish team. Now, therefore, I, Patricia Brister, as president of St. Tammany Parish, do hereby recognize the hard work and accomplishments of Bridget Saladino as Employee of the Month for December 2017. And I encourage all employees and residents of St. Tammany Parish to thank her for her contributions and commitment to St. Tammany Parish. Thank you, Bridget, for a job well done. And John, thank you for pulling Bridget into that that mix and doing such a great job. So thank you, Bridget, very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next is a recognition of St. Tammany West Chamber of Commerce as recipient of the Louisiana Association of Chamber of Commerce Large Chamber of the Year Award, Mr. Lorino.
Madam President and Mr. Chairman, members of the council, as we all know, we have two wonderful chambers in St. Tammany Parish, one on the east and one on the west. Well, tonight it's my pleasure to announce our West St. Tammany Chamber has won the Chamber of the Year Award. And I think that just goes to show how much work that all the chambers do, and they just happen to be the one that really came out a little bit above. But I know the East Side is also a very good chamber. So what I would like to do is ask Ms. Cynthia Thompson, the chairman of the board, and Ms. Lacey Taladano to come up and just explain a few things, and we'll go from there. So ladies, would you join me? Oh, thank you. Cynthia?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Thompson. I'm financial advisor with the Parish Wealth Management, but I'm also the 2017 Chamber Chairman of the Board. And we really want to thank you for allowing us this public recognition opportunity this evening. We, like so many citizens of St. Tammany, believe this is the best place to live and to work in Louisiana. We have the best of many quality of life traits. Our businesses deserve the best Chamber of Commerce. We are pleased to be this year's Large Chamber of the Year Award winner, just as last year East St. Tammany was the winner. Additionally, both of your chambers carry the 5-star accreditation awarded by the U.S. Chamber. Just over 100 chambers, or less than 1% of the chambers across the country, have achieved this status, and in St. Tammany Parish alone, both chambers are 5-star accreditation. And I know Ms. Blanchard can explain how hard that is to get. To qualify for this award for the Chamber of the Year for Louisiana, the judges look at how a chamber has spearheaded or played a key role in positive community changes. Its unique and highly successful programs that make the chamber a stronger organization and professional development of our staff. We are fortunate to have a CEO, Ms. Lacey Toledano, who, with nearly 20 years tenure with our chamber alone and 27 years experience in the chamber profession. She is invaluable by that alone. Finally, our finances are stable, including the fact that we paid off our building mortgage 3 years early just this spring. If you look in our brochure that we've placed at your desk, you will see the business leaders that currently serve and have previously served as our board of directors, as well as our executive level members who contribute 35% to our annual budget. It is our commitment to continue to serve as a premier business support provider and to work cooperatively and collaboratively with you and the elected leaders of our municipalities to create an atmosphere of commerce and business in our St. Tammany Parish. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will go on with appointments. Resolution to appoint 5 members of the Board of Commissioners for Drainage District Number 2. All previous members resign. Ms. Blanchard.
Motion to postpone, please.
Motion to postpone, seconded by Mr. Belisario. Any discussion on the motion to postpone? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Resolution to appoint Wilson D. Bullock III to replace Greg Lemons, term expired on the Board of Commissioners for Hospital Service District Number 1, St. Tammany Parish Hospital. Mr. Tanner?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
A resolution,
Can I recognize him?
oh, is he here?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Mr. Tanner, I think
Did it turn it off?
it's on, should be on.
Unless he turned himself off.
What'd you do, turn it off again?
I don't know. I'm on now?
Are you on?
Yes. Wilson, do you want to come up and let me introduce you? Just come to the mic. This is Wilson D. Bullock III, better known to all of us as Bully. Bully has just retired from the state police not long ago. He, 20, how many years?
26 in uniform and 28.97 in total service.
28.97 years at the state police. He has been involved in all kind of community activities. He promised me that he would give up some of them and I asked him to give up some of them if he would serve on the hospital board. I think he's going to be an asset to that board, and we're looking forward for you to be there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. A resolution to appoint one member to replace Connie Bourne, resigned, and to reappoint Marlene Peacher and Thomas J. Smith to the Board of Directors for St. Tammany Parish Tourist and Convention Commission. Robert Cook and Alex Corolla have both requested to be appointed to the vacant position. So, Mr. Tanner? Are you, I need to clear the floor, I guess. It's not clearing. Don't ask me, it ain't working.
Let's get there one.
Okay. I think we, and I'm going to, I'm going to look at 2 ways that we could do this. One of them, we can vote on all 3 people at once. Or all 3 positions at once. Or we can pass this resolution, which will reappoint 2 people, and the 3rd one will be then voted on. So make a motion to reappoint, actually to pass the resolution, and we'll vote on the resolution. Motion by Ms. O'Brien to pass resolution, second by Mr. Belisario. Any discussion on that motion? We're reappointing, right now, we're reappointing Marlene Peachy and Thomas J. Smith and leaving the other position open, and then we will vote between the 2. Okay, that motion's on the floor. Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Okay, with that in mind, 2 of the people have been appointed, so the 3rd position has 2 nominees, which is Robert Cook and Alex Corolla, have both requested to be appointed to the vacant position. Are there any further nominations? Move to close. Second by move closed by Gene and seconded by Mr. Canulet, right? Any discussion on the motion? Okay, we need to vote. While they're counting, I'm going to go ahead and tell you which items to pull on the consent calendar. We only have 3 tonight, resolutions. Number 1, Resolution C-4907, number 2, C-4908, and number 15, C-4921. Anything else to pull? Mr. Fitzgerald?
No, sir.
Mr. Thompson? Mr. Lorino?
No, sir.
Mr. Toledano?
No, thank you.
Ms. Blanchard?
No, sir.
Mr. Tanner?
No, sir.
Mr. Grovey?
No, sir.
Mr. Canulet?
None.
Mr. Belisario?
None.
Ms. O'Brien?
No, sir.
Mr. Smith?
Unanimous.
Anything from the administration? Okay. Do you have those votes counted yet? You only have to count to 14. Oh, 12, well, 2 absent, that's right, 12.
I can count to 100.
Mr. Robert Cook will serve as the appointee for the vacant position. So, motion to select, to fill the position with Robert Cook. Motion by, okay, okay. TJ,
I just made it.
you want to make the motion?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Smith makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Tanner. We're going to ask that the motion be made to, on this one, to suspend the rules and adopt for all 3 people.
So move.
Although 2 of you are already in position, it would help to have it go in effect immediately. So motion by Mr. Smith to suspend the rules and adopt all these appointments immediately, and with Alex Corolla being in for the open position. I'm sorry, Robert Cook. What did I say? I looked at 2 of them and sitting right here. Robert Cook will fill the position. Thank you. God, now I got it right. Let's vote. It goes to Teresa.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Thank you. That completes the consent count, or that completes the resolutions. Now the consent calendar, all items not pulled from the consent calendar are automatically approved and hold by 1 vote. Items pulled from the consent calendar are discussed and voted upon individually. I've asked if there's anything else that needs to be pulled, nothing. So we will begin with resolution number 1. Oh, yeah, please vote on the consent calendar. Motion by Mr. Toledano, seconded by Mr. Fitzgerald. Any discussion, please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Okay, resolution number 1 is CS number 4907, resolution granting approval to Fire District number 4 to call and hold a special election to authorize the renewal of 25 mills and the renewal of a 1 mill tax and the levy and collection of a $75 parcel fee. Mr. Lorino?
Mr. Chairman, Chief Moore would like to come up and say a few things to the council, please.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, council members, administration, I appreciate the opportunity to come before you tonight. I have a short statement I would like to read to you. I came before the Agenda Review Committee on November 29th with a request for an early renewal of millage and a parcel fee. I feel strong in my position concerning the need to add stations, increase our response time, and provide the same high level of service to all the taxpayers of Fire District 4. However, it has become clear that there are some matters of detail that I'm sure you as elected officials are familiar with and necessitates a delay temporarily as we want to be partners in the greater good of St. Tammany Parish. But perhaps also, we as the fire district have fallen short in providing the full book of knowledge that you and your constituents deserve in order to fully assess our request that millage renewals and a parcel fee be placed on the ballot for public consideration. Therefore, we are asking that our request be tabled until the next possible election in November 2018. To cite some examples of why this is appropriate, in the interim, based on comments posted on the news media websites, it's become clear that members of the public do not necessarily understand that no fire district receives any funding from the parish, the cities, or any municipality within the fire district service area. Millage and parcel fees are our only source of revenue. Also, and understandably confusing, is that fire district service area lines do not match or comport with your districts as council representatives. For example, Councilman Lorino, Taladano, Tanner, and Groby districts all overlap with more than just our district. Councilperson O'Brien's district is entirely within Fire District 4. Further complicating the issue is that the municipal boundaries also do not match and sometimes overlap the fire district service areas. The financial challenges facing Fire District 4 are not unique. We are confident that you are well aware that all the fire districts in your various districts throughout the parish all have or will be facing similar challenges in the future. The unprecedented and at the time unpredictable growth of St. Tammany Parish in the wake of Katrina has taken a variety of directions, both geographical and in the nature of development, that has created great challenges that must be addressed to provide adequate emergency services for fire, motor vehicle accidents, natural disasters, ambulance service, and all hazards response. That said, thank you for the opportunity to come before you and the opportunity to work with you to provide that full book of knowledge that you and our taxpayers deserve before all of us proceed as the team we are in serving our citizens. In closing, I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you and with all concerned, so when we come back, we will have the council's full support to put this before the voters. Thank you.
Chief Moore, I got a question to ask you.
Yes,
You
sir.
said you wanted to move it to sometime past the April election. Do you want us to leave this resolution on here or remove it?
Remove it right now.
That would be a procedural issue. I would have to
Okay.
defer to you.
Mr. Lorino?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make a motion that we withdraw Resolution CSC 4907
Okay.
on the
Motion by
request.
Mr. Lorino, seconded by Mr. Toledano. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just say one thing to Chief, if you
Okay.
don't mind, before we vote. Chief, thank you very much. As you know, you met with all the councilmen in the district, and I really appreciate you listening to the concerns. You touched on many of them. Information is needed, not only by you, but anything that needs to get passed, information needs to be provided to the constituents. So we're looking forward to working with you and coming back when everyone's been fully informed. You know, the chamber, the business council, the homeowners association, everybody that you serve, and you have a lot of time to do that. So thank you very much, and we're looking forward to working with you. And I ask for pass.
Motion on the floor is to remove. Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Thank you.
I would
Thank
like
you.
to
Thank
thank
you,
each
Chief.
and every one of you and let you know that I'm always available if you have any questions, because we plan on moving forward with this, and thank you.
Thank you. Number 2, Resolution CS 4908, resolution granting approval to Fire District Number 13 to call and hold an election to authorize a renewal of the levy and collection of 20.92 mills tax. Mr. Thompson. Motion by Mr. Thompson to approve, seconded by? Seconded by Mr. Lorino. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Item number 15, Resolution C4921, the resolution to concur, not to concur with Mandeville annexation and rezoning of .55 acres from Parish HC2 to Mandeville R-1X District, Ward 4, District 10.
Move to concur.
Motion to concur by Ms. O'Brien, seconded by, seconded by Mr. Belisario. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
That completes the consent calendar. We're now on appeals. Before we begin the appeals, I want to let you know that item number 2 on appeals will not be heard tonight. We received a letter requesting us to withdraw that appeal. So that will be withdrawn. It was the person who made the appeal was withdrawing the appeal. So we go to item 1, which is Mark Holyfield and Terrell Evans appealing the Planning Commission's approval, granting permission to enter the parish right-of-way, specifically the portion of Roger Drive west of Troy Drive and Hickory Hill subdivision for the purpose of gaining access to property. Petitioner is Denty Crawford, Ward 8, District 9. Mr. Crawford?
He's not here. Could you put my mic on?
I think you're on, Gene. Well, let me see.
No,
You're
no.
on.
No, I am. Thank you. I want to make a motion to approve the request for the right-of-way. I've met with both sides. I don't have any problems with the right-of-way issue, but there are some other issues I'm going to have to work with staff on to look at some resolutions in the future. So I'm making a motion to approve and concur with the Planning Commission's decision.
Motion by Mr. Belisario to concur with planning approval, seconded by Mr. Canulet. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Motion by Mr. Belisario, seconded by Mr. Canulet to adopt the resolution. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Okay, on item 2, motion by Mr. Fitzgerald to remove because it's withdrawn, seconded by Mr. Toledano. Any discussion?
We can't just take it off.
If you withdraw it, okay. And that's to concur with the approval. The approval would stand anyhow.
The appeal's been
Okay.
withdrawn.
Any
So we'd like
further discussion?
to concur.
Please vote.
Who was the second?
Toledano.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
And a motion to adopt the resolution by Mr. Fitzgerald, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Okay, we're going to ordinances for adoption. Ordinance calendar number 5849. Ordinance adopting and enacting a 2017 Code of Ordinances, introduced 8/3/11, postponed several times from 9/7/2017. And need a motion to adopt. Motion by Mr. Canulet, seconded by Mr. Lorino. Any discussion on the motion? This is the Muni Code that we're implementing. Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5867, an ordinance to amend the code by creating a new section relatively to Parish Road overlay projects. Need a motion to postpone.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Belisario, seconded by Mr. Canulet. Any discussion? Please vote.
I'm feeling it. Definitely look like Santa with my red.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5893AA, ordinance to amend Parish Code to create a new section prohibiting commercial activities at all Parish-owned boat launches and adjoining parking lots.
So moved.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Me.
Canulet, motion by Canulet, seconded by Belisario. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 2 absent.
Next one is an ordinance. I don't have the ordinance number on the next one. What is it?
5894.
58, no, it's not on my agenda. Ordinance count number 5894, an ordinance to amend.
Yeah, he's running around there. Oh, 5894 is right here.
Just a minute. Oh, it's on there twice. Okay. Ordinance count number 5894, accepting finalized subdivisions of the road and drainage inventories, Ward 1 and 4, Districts 1 and 7.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Roby, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Please vote.
Mr. Stefanski,
Yes.
could we take a moment or two and go through each and every one of those? I'm just kidding.
You can do that in the back room. Yes, we're voting on it. Please vote.
Mr. Belisario? Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance count number 5895, ordinance to authorize the parish president to extend the lease of office space to the Honorable Senator John Kennedy. Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Toledano. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5896 to declare multiple tax adjudicated properties as surplus property and authorize the sale of such.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Blanchard, seconded by Mr. Toledano. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5897, amending the official parish zoning map to reclassify 126 acres from A4, NC4, H2, HC3 to A4, NC4, HC2, HC3, and RBCO, Ward 1, District 1.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Thompson, seconded by Mr. Fitzgerald. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5898, amending the official parish zoning map to reclassify 2.3 acres from A3 to NC6, Ward 4, District 5. Hi. You got a motion?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Toledano, seconded by Mr. Lorino. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance count number 5899, amending the official parish zoning map to reclassify .99 acres from PF2 to A3, Ward 4, District 10.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? Please vote.
Mr. Belisario? Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance count number 5900, ordinance amending the official parish zoning map to reclassify 2.091 acres from A3 to HC2, Ward 4, District 5.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Toledano,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lorino. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance count number 5901, amending the official parish zoning map to reclassify 38,726.6 square feet from A2 to A3, Ward 8, District 13.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Blanchard, seconded by Mr. Belisario. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5902, ordinance to authorize the parish president to purchase or acquire servitudes and right-of-ways for the benefit of Magnolia Drive Drainage Project, Ward 4, District 4.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Lorino, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5903AA to amend the 2017 operating budget amendment number 12. Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5906, ordinance amending an ordinance expanding the boundaries of the Colonial Pinnacle Nord-Lac Economic Development District, renaming it as the Highway 21 Economic Development District.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Toledano, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar number 5907, ordinance to amend ordinances levying additional sales taxes in the Highway 59, Highway 1088, Highway 434, Airport Road, and Highway 1077 Economic Development Districts. Motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Ms. O'Brien. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Ordinance calendar 5908, amending the official parish zoning map to reclassify 1.835 acres located on the northeast side of 6th Avenue and Snell Drive from A2 suburban district to A4A single-family residential district, Ward 3, District 5.
So move.
Motion by who? Mr. Thompson, seconded by Mr. Groby. Any discussion? Please vote. Red, you have to wake him up when it's in his district.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Thank you. For the items off the floor, we have the resolutions here. We need a motion to open the agenda for the items off the floor.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Thompson, seconded by Mr. Groby. Any discussion? Please vote. Has to be a unanimous vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Okay. Resolution for providing, canvassing the returns and declaring the result of the special election held in Parish Lighting District Number 6. Motion by Mr. Groby, seconded by Ms. O'Brien. Any discussion? Oh, yeah, Jason, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jason Akers with Fola and Udell. In accordance with the proceedings of this council and the approval of the State Bond Commission and the Secretary of State, there was an election held in Lighting District Number 6 on November 18th. Those results have been certified by the Secretary of State's office, 560 votes in favor and 351 votes against. In other words, the proposition is passed by a majority of 209 votes. With your approval of the resolution, we'll make all the post-election filings and begin the canvass process for you that will begin the 60-day preemption period for challenging elections, and I promised I would not take long, so.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Please vote.
About short presentation.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Resolution to amend ordinance calendar number ordinance calendar series number 163653 to make changes to 2017 capital improvement budget and capital assets. We have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Tanner, seconded by Mr. Belisario. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Resolution to acknowledge the authority of Parish President to execute an entity state agreement with the LADOT for construction of a shared use path from Tammany Trace at Neslo Road to Camp Salmon, Ward 9, District 14.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Smith, seconded
Second.
by Ms. O'Brien. Any discussion? Please vote.
Mr. Toledano? Motion is unanimous, 3 absent.
Any other items to come off the floor? Mr. Fitzgerald? Mr. Thompson?
No, he has
Mr.
nothing.
Lorino?
No.
Mr. Toledano?
No, thank you. Merry
Blanchard?
Christmas
No,
again.
thank you.
Mr. Tanner? Mr. Groby? Yes, can you? Let's let them. Mr. Belisario?
No.
No, sir.
Wait a minute. Ms. O'Brien? Mr. Smith? Staff? There's nothing else to come before this meeting. Merry Christmas, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.